there, Tenno. I'm Shadow Scythe, and today we're gonna get locked and loaded with a Peaceful Provocation Equinox. Now, the thing is that Equinox is a little bit tricky to mod for to begin with, because you have the day and night forms. So there are a few ways to kind of do an all-round build that suits both ends, otherwise you kind of need to build for one or the other. And for the most part that works because a lot of people who play Equinox tend to stay in either day or night form. I personally prefer night form over day form, however, if absolutely necessary, I will jump into day form from time to time. However, I'm going to be showing off mostly night form for Peaceful Provocation for the slow effect. Because the way that Peaceful Provocation actually works, for those of you that have used it and those of you that know, is... Whoa, holy lag. Peaceful Provocation actually converts damage dealt to you, or... Actually, no, it converts damage dealt to you into an aura that slows, and it affects each enemy that enters the effective range. This also drains energy per unit that enters. However, that is just the initial cost. It's not affected by anything else. You can increase the slow effect itself via power strength and the effective range by using range mods. Duration and efficiency will obviously help reduce your overall cost, and as of recent updates, it doesn't seem like it caps out anymore like it used to. But now, unfortunately, at only 3%, you guys aren't really going to be able to see this too well.
Here comes the dropship with a special delivery. I haven't felt this good since they rebuilt my larynx.
Wow, they deleted that like
Ready
instantly.
for a surprise demonstration? I give you my reborn Amunis. Allow me to show you what she can do to these.
I'm kind of trying to let... Now, the damage wind-up is slow, but you can really notice it whenever it actually gets going, and once you hit about 40% conversion, it can actually keep up with Nova's molecular prime. It doesn't have quite the same effect, or quite the same amount of crowd control and room clearing potential, but it does work out to a certain degree. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, if I were to switch to day form, what that's going to allow me to do is generate additional power strength for each ability cast. However, the thing with that is, under normal circumstances, it only works for you, but with Peaceful Provocation, it actually affects you as well as your allies. Like, as you can see, I'm up to 24% damage conversion right now, which is going to help out a lot, because you can already see the slow effect starting to work its magic. I will double check the mod altogether though, because I am not 100% sure that I explained the day form right, because I don't use it in day form. I rarely use day form to begin with. I don't even know what is after us. Yeah, I don't have the slightest clue what actually came after us. But I'm going to extract after this next wave just to show you guys. But, here. Let me switch over to day form, and I will test this. Okay, so... Okay, so for each thing killed, you see that percentage? That is the additional power strength generated in total. Up to 46. Looks like that's where it caps, is at 46%. So on day form it still does cap. I'm not 100% sure if it does on night form anymore. I don't have any real way to show that to you guys either. Get wrecked.
Reinforcements available. Do you choose to leave now or continue fighting?
But anyway, I'll get to show you guys the full build as well, so that you can get the exact breakdown that I'm using.
That's the last of them. Objective is secure. Let's go home.
I'll drop ship response times.
Yeah, I wasn't really doing damage. I was intentionally letting myself get hit. But as most of you know, Equinox is also a very versatile support frame in night form and a very heavy damage dealer in day form. Anyway, here is the build that I'm using for Peaceful Provocation. Energy Siphon for the Aura mod, Redirection and Vitality mods, which you will need to form her. I believe she comes with a D polarity and a dash. Actually, no, if I remember correctly, she comes with a D polarity and this V polarity here innately. So to get this exact thing, you will have to form her twice and add in a dash polarity and another D. This way you can have your costs on Redirection and Vitality. I'm using Primed Continuity for my power duration to reduce the energy drain on Pacify and Provoke, as well as Mend and Maim. And also to increase the duration on Rest and Rage. Now, if you don't have Prime Continuity, you can obviously substitute this for a regular Continuity. Or if for whatever reason you want to use Narrow-Minded in place and throw Intensify over here, that is completely up to you. Then obviously Primed Flow for the Energy Max. If you don't have Primed Flow, I know you guys are going to be using regular flow, so there's no real need for me to explain that. Now, because the way that this build is set up is you basically want to have optimal duration, so you don't want anything that could negatively affect that. Just because this gives you the freedom to keep Pacify and Provoke up, as well as to use your other powers and have them be a little more useful for locking down key points, if say for an interception or mobile defense or something like that. So Streamline is about all you're going to want to use for power efficiency. Now, yes, Transient Fortitude is good for power strength. However, it puts a gigantic axe on your duration. It is the same deal using Fleeting Expertise for power efficiency. So that is why Intensify is the only thing I'm using for power strength, because if you use Blind Rage, then yes, you're getting more power strength, but you're also draining energy at a much faster rate. So this is a little bit of an all-round build, but it works out rather well, and if you're coordinating with a team, then they can make up for the lack in any other area. Then I'm using Stretch to increase the effective ranges on all 3 of Equinox's abilities. And I'm also using Cunning Drift for a little bit of extra power range. However, if you guys choose to sub this out for Power Drift, that works out as well, because it just gives you a little more kick on your abilities. And then Peaceful Provocation. Pacify and Provoke Augment converts damage done to allies into an aura that slows enemies by 40%. Provoke converts damage done to enemies into 15% extra power strength. Okay, I did explain the day portion of it wrong. And I was slightly wrong on the damage dealt. I knew... or on the damage dealt to you for the slow aura. So you see, this also works out for me in case I screw... Showing you guys the build at the end also works out in case I happen to fuck up an explanation while in mission. But thank you guys for tuning in. If you liked the video, hit that like button and subscribe. Feel free to check out my Twitter and player.me links in the description box below if you want to check me out outside of the regular video updates. If you'd like to support the channel and its endeavors, there is a Patreon link in the description box below as well. And until next time, Tenno, stick to the shadows.